Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to show you today is how to make a pizza base. Now, I've used this pizza recipe for years, and I admit I took it from the YouTube many years ago, and I've used it constantly and it has never failed me. So just, if you got a pen and paper, write the recipe down, or I shall try and put it on the video. But at the moment I'm just doing the pizza crust, and then I'll come back with what I'm going to put on it later. So first thing, all-purpose flour or bread flour, up to you. 2 cups or 2 1/3 if you want extra for when you roll the dough out, or 250 in a bowl, an extra if you need be. Well, you don't have to be exact. I put 254 in. What's a couple of grams between friends. The next thing you need is 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast. Now this is dried yeast, instant dried yeast, and I've kept it in the freezer because I can only buy it in a big tub out of Metro. I'm not giving any brands, I'm not sponsored by anyone, and if I was, I wouldn't even know how to do it anyway. So that is 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast, and then 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast, and then 1 1/2 teaspoons of sugar, 3/4 teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoonfuls of olive oil, and 3/4 of a cup or 175 mils of warm water. And that's all you need. This here is garlic powder. If you want to add it in to make the dough taste of garlic, that's optional. So I'll run through that very quickly. 2 cups or 2 1/3 cups of all-purpose or bread flour, 250 grams in a bowl, or extra if you want it to dust the table. 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast, 1 1/2 teaspoons of sugar, 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and 3/4 cups of warm water at 175 ml, which that is. So all you do is you combine the flour, the yeast, the sugar, the salt, and add garlic powder if required. Then add your olive oil, water, and mix well. And add a bit more flour if it's too wet. And then you make it into a round ball, put cling film over it and let it rest for 30 minutes until it's doubled. So I will go and do that now. There's no need for you to sit around and watch me mixing. Just throw all that ingredients into that bowl and that's it, and mix it all together. Okay, I'll be back later. Okay, now what I've done here, instead of using that bowl, I decided to use the same bowl that I used to measure the flour. So I put all the ingredients in, apart from the garlic powder. It's optional really, but what I did, I will add some garlic powder into it in a minute. But what I did, I wet the side of the bowl with olive oil, and I rubbed the dough into the olive oil as well, round the sides, not put any extra. I didn't put any extra flour, I didn't use any extra water or anything. I just used the ingredients that I showed you, and with a little bit of massaging, it comes into a sort of nice dough. Yeah, I've mixed a little bit of yeast into it. I've rolled it up in a little ball. I'm now going to cover it with a tea towel. There's no need to use cling film because half the cling film you buy here is crap anyway. So I'm going to use a tea towel, and I'll put it outside on the porch where it's nice and warm. Okay, so let's just have a cup of coffee while that's rising, hopefully rising. If not, it's start all over again. Okay, I'm back now. Now, this is my dough. As you can see, it's risen twice as much. Now, I'll tell you what I did. I left it for 15 minutes or 15 to 20 minutes, went up and had a look. it was rising. So I covered it over again. No harm in doing that. Just cover it up again and then come back down and get your ingredients ready. Now all I'm using for my pizza is cheese, mozzarella cheese, 1 large onion, about that size of my hand. They were only 128 pesos in Metro. Filipino ketchup or sauce, olive oil, which you'll need just to sprinkle over the pan, and I bought some, I think it's called pancetta or pinzanti. That was, I think, 230 something peso. Yeah, where's the price? And it's spicy, which will probably not go down well. Anyway, yeah, 259, I think. Oh, after it's dropping out. Anyway, open it when it's cooked. A lot of the spiciness will go out. So anyway, that's your ingredients. Get whatever ingredients you want: tomatoes, peppers, onions, bacon, whatever you want. That's entirely up to you. But anyway, the dough is ready. The ingredients is ready. So now all I want to do now, this is the pan that I'm going to cook it in. No need for a special pizza pan or anything else. Just use an ordinary oven tray. Now, while you're doing that, what you need to do is start preheating the oven. Now, the oven should be preheated to 425 or 215. Now, I've got mine at 215. So all I want to do now is put the oven on and put the timer on. It doesn't matter about the timer, I can just do that myself. And that will just preheat the oven, and then when that's reached the correct temperature, that will go out. Normally bake it for about 13 to 15 minutes, but it depends on you. If you want a much thicker crust, then use a sort of smaller tray if you want. It's all trial and error. But anyway, let's just do it my way. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to oil the tray with a brush and olive oil, just a thin coat all the way around. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I've oiled the tray, maybe a little bit too much, but I oiled the tray, and that also helps the cooking process underneath the pizza. By the way, the oven setting was the traditional oven setting. It's not a turbo or anything like that. So now I'm going to put my tray to one side, and I'm now going to roll out the dough, and I've got additional flour, all-purpose flour, which again I bought in Metro because I normally buy all my stuff in Metro. But again, I'm not endorsing this or getting paid for anything like this, because I'm just starting blogging off or vlogging, whatever it is. So it's all new to me. So anyway, I put some flour on the thing, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to roll out the dough. Just knead it slightly. I'll try and put it on the tripod if I can, but I did try it before, but it keeps falling down. But anyway, I'll try my best. I'll have to switch it off for a minute. Anyway, I'm gonna just tip out my dough onto the baking flour, the table, knead it a bit. This is just to get the air out of the pastry or the dough. You know, you can just knead it slightly. That's what I do. Just when I'm baking bread, this is the only method that I actually use for kneading the bread, and I do this for about 10 minutes, but with a pizza dough, there isn't any need to do it for that long. So I'll put a bit more powder on. Don't worry about the amount of powder, flour that you use. Yeah, so I'm going to get my rolling pin now. This is not my favourite rolling pin. I had a much smaller one that I bought in India, and it was purposely for this sort of thing. So anyway, roll the dough out as large as you can so it fits in the tray. And also, one of the reasons why you oil the tray is because it also grips the actual dough when you're putting it in. So we need to spread it out as much as we can, because I don't like a dough that's too thick, and it's just a matter of trial and error really. But like I said, you don't need all these fancy pizza trays and stuff, you know. Just get in there and get stuck in and mix it up, and as long as the dough's rising, that is all that matters. And do whatever ingredients you want in it. No need to keep turning it round. Just change the direction of your rolling pin. I hope that you can see this, because it's the first time that I've ever done a video for food, and the first time I've used a tripod, and the tripod's not very strong. Let me just see the size of the pan. Okay, maybe a little bit more. You know, this pastry does stretch. I'm not clever enough to spin it in my arms, in my hands, to make it spread. But anyway, let's just see what happens. It does tear, but there again, that is how it is. If you look at when they do the pizzas in spinning in the hands, sometimes they do tear. So anyway, just roll it up slightly. Get your tray and just gradually roll it back on. Don't matter if it's not the right size, because it spreads. Like I said, you can get it over. See, the oil actually makes it clingy. You can leave the bits on the edge for the crust. These bits you can cut off, and if you like everyone else in the Philippines, you're a carpenter, so there's no reason why you can't just cut these off and just patch that up, because it doesn't make any difference. So I'll just cut this off. It's only pastry, it's not gold, so don't worry about it, you know. Just smack it in there, and that's it. There's no real other places. A little bit thin place there, just smack it in. But that's one advantage of the oil. It clings to the pastry. Anyway, I think that's it. Leave these edges here if you want a crust. I'm not particularly bothered about a crust anyway. But anyway, that is it. That is it. Okay, now next thing to do is prick it with a fork. Just prick it with a fork. But like I said, you can use a smaller tray if you want the pastry thicker. But if you go to Italy on that, it's only thin pastry anyway. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to sprinkle this Filipino style sauce over it. If I can open it, just squirt it up. Use the back of a spoon, just put it on. So you can use paste if you want, which is thicker, but I actually couldn't even find paste this morning, so I just use this. Paste is probably better, but anyway, it's all trial and error. You can use the salt or you can use the paste. If I had the choice, I would probably use the paste, but this is the only thing that I could find this morning, and I was in a hurry. Okay, put a bit more on. If you want, I mean, I can. If you want to put a bit of ketchup on it, just go ahead. But like I said, it's up to you, whatever you want. This is a pizza, this is a homemade pizza, not one in a restaurant. But this is just as good, if not better, I think so. And I've tried this recipe on Filipinos and they love it. So, anyway, lick the spoon. So I'm going to put a little bit of cheese on now. I've done different bits of cheese, slices, grated, just to get, but you can do any ingredients you want. Yeah, I think that's enough onion. Leave me some for a sandwich. I'm a bit of a raw onion freak. So anyway, then I will cover it again with some more grated cheese. Talk among yourselves while I'm doing this. Just concentrating a bit. I think the main thing is the actual dough mix. As long as you get that right, that's the most important thing. Get your dough mix done. Anyway, that's all my grated cheese done. The oven's not warmed up yet, so it normally takes a bit of time. Now I will use my ham, spicy ham. I'm not sure if this was the same I used last time, but this one's spicy, and I don't think they like spicy. But anyway, it's all trial and error. Ladies and gentlemen, I forgot one ingredient. So I'll put that on one side. I forgot pineapple. I do love pizza with pineapple. So I bought this yesterday. Again in Metros. Just slice it up very thinly. Put that over there. I'll bring my pizza back. Spread the pineapple out a bit. I do have clean hands, by the way. I also sweep the floor when it's in the oven. I do make a mess, I must admit. Oh, there's some over here. Some over there. Get some over here. And onto the floor at the same time. Okay, that to me is it. I will sprinkle a little bit of olive oil on it, just a sprinkle. Oh, anyway, that's more than a sprinkle. But anyway, it's going to go into the oven now. I'll try and take it over there. I'm in front of the oven now. I've got the heat. I'm going to put my pizza in the oven, set it for bed, and see you in about 15-20 minutes, or when you think that it's cooked underneath. Shut the thing off because the heat's all gone out. So basically that is it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry about my reflection, but the 15 minutes is up. I'm going to open the door now. Oh, we're steaming up already. My glasses are steamed up. In fact, I can't even see what I'm doing. Anyway, that is my pizza. I'm going to switch off now while I take it out of the oven and put it onto the hob, because I want to see underneath that the crust is cooked. So bear with me. Okay, the pizza is done now. I'm just going to turn the oven off. The reason I leave it on is until I check that the underneath is completely cooked. So if I go back to the pizza, I think you'll think it looks quite nice. Could have took it out a bit earlier, but I actually like the cheese crusty on the top anyway. So I don't know if you can see it underneath, but yes, it's cooked. So what I'll do with that now, I will let it cool. I may put it out on the rack that's in the oven, but I'll just leave it here to get cold. Now, my advice is don't use a pizza cutter. Use these. Just cut it in squares, that way and that way. You may be able to get 1, 2, 3, 4. You may be able to get 16 pieces out of it, even more. It depends on what size you, obviously your portions are. But I think you agree, it's pretty straightforward. It's a nice thin pastry, not thick, you know. It's anyway. That's my take on. I think it's the best pizza that I've ever had. I think all homemade pizzas are much better because you know what has gone into it and how it's been prepared. You buy one out of a shop, you don't know what's in it, and I'm not trying to turn people off. But anyway, try it out. Leave a remark if you want in the comments column, or give me any tips. But don't mess around with it. Get all the ingredients together, throw it in a bowl, mix it all up, let it stand for 15 minutes. See if it's risen. If it has, cover it up again, and then get all your ingredients ready. And then make sure you've got all the ingredients ready, and not like me leaving the pineapple out. But anyway, preheat the oven is very important. So once you start cutting the ingredients, put the oven on, and then you can start rolling out the dough. But remember, you don't have to use this sort of tray, and if you do, oil it because it makes the pastry cling and you can spread it out easier. Anyway, that's enough from me. Enjoy. Thank you very much. Well, everybody, as you can see, it's cooled down now. It's cold now anyway, and I've sliced it, and if you look, the pastry isn't too thin. Even though I rolled it out very thinly, the pastry does rise. So you know, it's very tasty, and the bottom's cooked, and I'm just cutting it up into squares now, and I will put it into the some silver foil and take it down to people. Sorry, my hands are all greasy and it slipped. Okay, good luck with it. If you like it, put it in the comments, but I'm sure you will, and put whatever ingredients you want in it or on it. Thank you very much.